Hi, I'm Michael, and this is James. Um, we wanted to tell you about our journey with getting diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. James, just about, I think, 9 days ago now, got diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it's all brand new to us. We didn't know anything about it, and so we're just learning everything, and we're going to tell you all about how this all happened for us so that you can be educated and you can know like what to look out for, and then you can also know what it means once you have the diagnosis and what it's going to mean for the future and all that. So this was all completely sudden. James had been over at my mom's house during summer break, and she was keeping him during the week while we were working, and then we would pick him up on the weekend. So we didn't see him but a couple of days during the week.
And no one really knew about it when it started.
Yeah, no one knew what was going on, and really this is something that had been going on with James for about I think about 6 weeks at least, and we just didn't know what was going on. And so kind of the way that this all starts, and I'm no medical expert, I don't 100% understand everything, but this is to the best of my understanding. What happened is that there was a virus that James got. His body, kicked in his antibodies to start fighting off the virus. And when that happened, it killed off the virus, but then it didn't stop, and it started going after and attacking the insulin. And either, I don't understand if it was like consuming it or just killing it off or what happened there, but basically it uses up all the insulin, and then the body at that point stops producing insulin, and that's when basically it's the onset of type 1 diabetes. And so it happens, it lays dormant in your system, and then some illness, some virus or something comes along, and then that's what ends up triggering it to happen. So apparently this can happen at any point. I have a coworker that's in his mid-30s, and the exact same thing happened to him back when he got COVID. He lived perfectly fine up until that point when the COVID kicked in, and then he got COVID, and then the type 1 diabetes kicked in at that point, and then that's when he ended up having to take insulin from that point on. So the same thing just happened to James, and so it can happen to anybody at any given time, and it's all hereditary. There's no way to prevent it. There's nothing you can do about it. So I guess at some point in time, I guess someone in our family has had type 1 diabetes, and we didn't even know about that. There's no one that we know that says that they've been diagnosed with it, but they say that it's hereditary and it's passed down through through your genes, and there's just no way to prevent it. So we ended up where James was staying at my mom's house. We were at work, and my mom and James had been saying that he wasn't feeling good. None of us were feeling good. We all had stomach issues that week, and so we just thought that there was a stomach virus going on. His mom didn't feel good. I didn't feel good. We were all feeling nauseous. His sister even started feeling bad at one point. So we thought that it was all just related to a stomach virus that was going on, and we really didn't think that it was anything other than that. But there was some other things that if we had known better, we could have looked out for. It would have been indicators that type 1 diabetes could have been going on, and we didn't realize that. But James had been, basically he was really dehydrated, and we didn't know. So he had been thirsty a lot. He was a lot more thirsty than he usually ever was. He was always asking for cold water. And then he had to go pee a lot more than what he normally did. There was increased urination, and that's one of those signs. He had also been losing weight, but we didn't really pick up on that. I think that he had a really increased weight loss right towards the last 2 or 3 days before he ended up in the hospital. But that's supposed to be an indicator. And then also just a change of attitude, change of moods. James is usually a really, really, happy, he jokes around. He's always real funny and stuff. And honestly, looking back on it, during that time, he wasn't that usual self. He had kind of changed and quite frankly became more kind of like cranky and just, he was, to us it seemed like he was complaining about stuff, but it's because his body had all this going on. He was he was always asking him to get water, stop at the store because he wanted something to drink and stuff. And we really just thought that it was being just it was a different attitude than what we normally expected and saw from James. And then honestly, once he got on this medicine, the insulin, it brought that down, and he's his more normal self now. So he's joking around, he's playful, and so it definitely changes your attitude, it changes your mood, and it also makes you real tired. Looking back on it now, I remember that he was just laying around and not wanting to do as much. So that's all stuff to look out for. And so what happened, he was at my mom's house, I was at work, we got a call from my mom saying that, he doesn't look good and that I should come pick him up and that I need to take him to the doctor. And, still I was, hesitant because, missing work, and I didn't think that there was much of it. Then my wife got a video of James trying to talk, and, the way he was breathing, he had very labored breathing where it was unlike anything I'd ever heard. It was more than just labored breathing. It sounded like it hurt to breathe. And then when he tried talking, he couldn't talk. Everything was just, the words were slurred, but also they weren't coming out all the way. It sounded like he had his jaw wired shut. But don't know if you've ever heard that before, but you cannot move your jaw. And so we ended up telling my mom just to go ahead and call the ambulance and get the ambulance there right away. And so they did. They sent a fire truck and an ambulance. And how many people were there, James?
Like 7.
Like 7 people. And, they took him into the ambulance, gave him some fluids to try to hydrate him, and, did a bunch of testing to figure out what's going on. And they ended up figuring out that he did have what seemed like that this was diabetes to them, type 1 diabetes, and they told us that right then and there with the ambulance driver. And he said that, he explained to me that all the signs that we were seeing were exact indicators of what was going on. So they took him to the hospital. At first before that test, they were going to let me take him, and then they said, nope, this is so serious that we have to take him. We need to monitor him for the ride. And so they took him to Dell Children's Hospital, which is one of the best in the country. And, when we got there to the emergency room, it was great. They had several people on them in the emergency room, and then within just 10 or 15 minutes probably, they decided that they needed to take him to the ICU. So, James, what do you think? How was the whole experience? Was it pretty crazy and scary? What was your biggest fear during the whole thing?
Well, I wasn't really scared, but the morning I woke up before we went to the hospital, it was hard to breathe.
And then remember when we were there the whole time, because they'd given you so many fluids with the IV, the EMTs had given him so much fluids, they wouldn't let him drink anything else once we got there, because they said that it could cause his brain to swell more, and obviously that would be really bad. So he didn't actually get to drink anything for, I think, until day 3, and then that same day they let him eat a meal for the first time also.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let him eat anything right away either. Oh. But
Because, when you don't have any insulin, your body, don't, it doesn't, fill up your stomach when you eat food. So you have to eat stuff with low carbs or have insulin before you eat something with carbs.
Yep. So we're going to show y'all everything that we do along the way and as we learn stuff. And we're going to show you about like the gear that we have. You know, we had to buy a couple bags so that we can have all of his medical equipment with us. And, you know, we're going to do kind of some tutorials and show what we do and how we do it. And just use this as an educational experience. You know, you got to make the best out of every situation, and that's what we're trying to do. So I figure if we can teach anybody and make other people aware of what's going on, then that's, you know, for the better. So it was a real scary experience, and, you know, with when something like that goes on for so long and it doesn't get noticed and you don't get to the hospital right away, it is a potential where someone could die. And you know, just thank God that, you know, James is okay and he's here with us today and all that. But, you know, this is something he's going to have to take insulin for the rest of his life. We have to take an insulin shot once before every single meal. And then
one before bedtime.
And then one before bedtime.
With a pin that you have to hold for 10 seconds.
Yep. And right now we're using the syringes in an insulin vial, but then we're going to be going to the pins here soon once that insulin runs out. And so we'll be using a pin for the, you know, the shots before every meal, and then we're using a different type of pin for the nighttime. It's a long acting. It's like a slow release, but long acting. The one for the meals is a fast acting. And but yeah, we're learning about it all, and James is taking it all in. He's learning how to do everything, which is great. And you know, we're learning about the different types of foods he can eat and all that. So, you know, we're trying to find good snacks that he can eat on. So, you know, when he has that craving to snack in between meals, he can. So anyways, you know, if y'all have any questions or anything that we can show y'all about or teach y'all about, let us know. But, you know, we're going to just show you little videos here and there as we go along and as we learn about stuff. So we got a couple, like I said, we got a couple bags, so we're going to show you all about those bags. We got a wristband that we ordered for him, or a medical bracelet that's going to be coming soon. And we're going to show you that when it arrives. And, you know, we're just going to show you different stuff here and there as we learn about it and as we do stuff.
Right now I'm just using this one. It says I have type 1 diabetes.
So James is about to start school next week, and so we just had this diagnosis. We're just learning about all this, and then now he has to start school. So and it's a brand new school that just was built, so we don't know any of the teachers, the nurse, anything like that. So we're going to have to learn all this and make sure that they know what they're doing. And so it's a scary experience for us, and we're you know, we got a lot that we still have to learn, but we're going to show y'all everything along the way so that, you know, we can help y'all understand what's going on and educate everybody. So anyways, please like, share, and subscribe so we can, you know, help this channel grow and we can reach other people. And, you know, like I said, we want to inform as many people as we can. So, want to say anything else, James?
No.
All right, say bye to everybody.
Bye.
All right, bye.